On quiet nights, when the moon is full, some say you can still see a silver light glowing in a hidden valley called Silver Hollow. It wasn't an ordinary village. The trees shimmered softly, the river flowed like liquid glass, and fireflies drifted through the air like tiny stars. And at the very heart of the village stood a tall stone tower. At the top of that tower hung something very special, a crystal lantern holding a single drop of pure moonlight. Every night, when the moon rose high, the lantern filled with a soft silver glow. That light protected the village. It kept storms away, guided travelers home, and pushed the darkness far beyond the forest. And the one who cared for this lantern was a quiet boy named Arin. Now Arin was not a powerful wizard. He didn't know grand spells or magical tricks. His job was simple. Each evening he climbed the long spiral stairs, polished the crystal lantern, and made sure its light could shine clearly. Most people thought it was a small job, but Arin didn't, because from the top of the tower he could see the entire valley glowing peacefully under the moon, and that made him happy. But one night, something changed. As Arin gently cleaned the lantern, the silver light flickered, once, then again, and slowly it began to fade. Arin frowned. "That's strange," he whispered. Then suddenly, a cold wind swept through the valley. The glowing trees dimmed, the fireflies vanished, and far beyond the hills, something began to move. Shadows, not ordinary shadows. These ones twisted and crawled like living smoke. Arin's heart began to race. Without the moon lantern, the village would not survive the night. He looked at the fading light, then up at the bright moon above, and suddenly he understood. The lantern didn't create the light, it only held it. If the light was fading, he needed to bring more. Without wasting a moment, Arin grabbed a small lantern and ran toward the tallest hill outside the village. The higher he climbed, the darker the world became. Behind him, the shadows followed, slowly, silently. When Arin reached the top, the sky opened wide above him. The moon shone bright and full. He lifted his lantern with trembling hands. "Moon," he said softly, "my village needs your light." For a moment, nothing happened. The wind howled, the darkness crept closer. Then suddenly, a thin silver beam fell from the sky. It touched his lantern, and slowly, moonlight began to pour inside. The lantern glowed brighter and brighter. But then, the ground trembled. From the darkness rose a giant shadow creature. It towered over the hill like a living storm. The creature rushed toward him. Arin panicked. He lifted the lantern and shouted, "Go away!" The light flashed, but it was weak, too weak. The creature slammed into him. The lantern fell. The light scattered and vanished. Arin hit the ground hard. The monster loomed above him. The shadows began sliding down the hill toward the village. "I failed," Arin whispered. For a moment, he almost gave up. But then, he remembered his grandmother's words. "Light does not listen to fear, it listens to courage." Arin took a deep breath, slowly. He stood up. This time, he didn't shout, he didn't panic. He stepped forward, raised his hands to the sky, and spoke calmly. "Moon, I was afraid before, but now I'm ready. Please help me protect my home." The moon glowed brighter, and this time the beam of light was stronger. It poured into the lantern, blazing with silver fire. The creature roared silently and lunged again. But Arin stood his ground. He lifted the lantern high and shouted, "Light belongs to everyone." The lantern burst open. A brilliant wave of silver light exploded across the hill. The shadow creature cracked, and shattered into nothing. The darkness dissolved like smoke in the wind, and slowly, the valley below filled with light again. Arin hurried back to the tower. With careful hands, he placed the moonlight back into the great crystal lantern. It shone brighter than ever before. The trees glowed once more, the fireflies returned, and the shadows never came back. The next morning the village gathered below the tower. They cheered for Arin, but Arin simply smiled, because now he understood something important. Even the bravest hearts can fail the first time, but if you try again, with courage instead of fear, you can still bring the light back home. And to this day, when the moon rises over Silver Hollow, the lantern shines a little brighter, because everyone remembers the boy who borrowed the moonlight twice.
Thank you for watching.